online era at the time in COVID-19. So we hope that we can join, and next time our department, I mean English department, can improve the student capability about these programs. So I am as a dean, I am very glad and I welcome to all of participants in these occasions. I think that's all my speech, and thanks very much. And I close my speaking by wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak atas sambutannya. So, dear all the participants, in English department, we have tourism class. So accordingly, we have already invited great people today to be the speakers. And I would like to introduce you to our speakers today. Please welcome first Rebecca Bailey Thatcher from United States of America. Rebecca, can you hear me? Yeah. So Rebecca,
yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Rebecca is originally from Mississippi, correct me if I'm wrong. And she is now a doctoral candidate of Baylor University. And one of her experiences is being an English teacher English volunteer in Peace Corps in West Java. So she was in Indonesia. She had been in Indonesia for 2 years, but now she's back to stay. Thank you for being available, Rebecca.
Yes,
and I would
thank you.
like to introduce you to our second presenter or speaker. He is Mr. Sofian. Welcome, Bapak. Yeah, Mr. Sofian is originally from Indonesia, but he has been living in Perth, Australia for many years to run his business. So his business is dealing with a travel agent. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Bapak. So he's the best person to go through if you have information or question about travel agent. And Mr. Sofian he has an extensive business management background as managing director, and he has also extensive business management for 16 years experiences and Adobe Executive Charter or CEO, Chief Executive Organizer for 7 years. And another speaker, Bapak Ayub. Selamat pagi, Bapak Ayub.
Selamat pagi.
Thank you for being available. Pak Ayub is the head of the tourism sector Disbud Parpora, Dinas Kebudayaan Pariwisata dan Olahraga. So he's going to talk about the local challenge, especially in our country, Indonesia, dealing with the tourism. Yeah. So for the participants, please write a question if you have. So while the presenters present or give a presentation, the participants are able to write the question via chat on your link on your Zoom. And after that, I will read the question and I will ask the question to the presenters. So whenever you are ready or whenever you have a question, just chat, yeah? Chat via Zoom. Thank you. So here we begin, yeah? Co-Padis Tourism, the worldview to conquer the tourism sector. I would like to invite our first speaker, Rebecca Bailey Thatcher from United States of America. Please welcome. You have the floor, Rebecca.
Selamat pagi. Hello, everyone. Give me just a second. I will share my screen. Can you see my screen?
No one.
Yeah, all good here.
Okay, good. So like the host said, my name is Rebecca Thatcher. I am originally from Hattiesburg, Mississippi in the United States. This is my family. I have one daughter and my husband, Nathan, and my daughter is Juniper. I am a teacher in the United States. I teach at an elementary school. My degree is elementary education. I have an SDUA, a master's degree in special education, which is students with disabilities, like the SLG, I think is what it's called in Indonesia. And then I am also working on a doctoral degree in leadership and organizational change. So the doctoral degree is so that I can become a Kepala Sekolah, like a principal one day. So like a head of the school, Kepala Sekolah. So that's who I am. I came to Indonesia for 27 months. I worked as an education volunteer. I was a teacher at MTSN 1 Subang, and I was a teacher trainer. So I trained teachers in English. I trained teachers in how to write lesson plans and how to deal with discipline and other factors of being a teacher. I have a quick video I want to show you about the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps is the program I worked with in Indonesia. And the Peace Corps travels all over the world. They send Americans to Africa, to Europe, to South America, to Indonesia, all over the world. So I will show just a quick video.
But what does the man who started the Peace Corps think about it now?
The willingness of all Americans, men and women, young and old, to serve in the Peace Corps, to serve in all parts of the world, to serve at little pay, to do jobs that most of them have never done before, is one of the most encouraging manifestations of the American spirit this country has seen in many years. The Peace Corps gives us a chance to show a side of our country which is too often submerged. Our desire to live in peace, our desire to be of help.
Today, hope endures. In fact, it's as strong as it was when we started our journey in 1961, maybe even stronger. Every day, Peace Corps volunteers and all of us who support them wake up and spend the day working hard to make the world a better place. The larger causes we serve are the farmers in Panama, businesswomen in Albania, students in Rwanda, environmentalists in Jamaica, healthcare workers in South Africa. Our work is manifested in them and the thousands and thousands of others we'll never meet.
Okay, so that was the Peace Corps. So I worked with the Peace Corps for 2 years and they sent me to Indonesia. And with the Peace Corps, I lived in Kediri for 3 months. I lived in Blabak in Kediri. And then after 3 months, I moved to Subang, West Java, which is very close to Jakarta. When I lived in Kediri, I learned how to speak Indonesian and Sundanese from Stein Kediri. I worked with the teachers there and they taught me Indonesian and we practiced English. So we talked back and forth. My favorite Indonesian tourism spots was the Gili Islands and Sumatra and Yogyakarta and Flores and of course Kediri. And here's some photos of my family from Indonesia. I lived with this family for 2 years in Subang. And about Mississippi, so if you look on the map in red is my state of Mississippi. Right now, I go to school in Texas, which is right here. It's pretty close to each other. So Mississippi is known for having good music, good food, and agriculture. We're known for farming. So we're farming for things like watermelon and corn and soybeans. Similar to Indonesia, we grow soybeans, but we do not make tempeh like Indonesia does. This is a picture of a watermelon from Mississippi, and it's very large compared to watermelons in Indonesia. And this is a catfish. In Mississippi, we are known for having very large catfish. So this is a ikan lele, but in Indonesia, they're very small. In Mississippi, they're giant. So here's just a quick video about Mississippi. So if you travel for tourism to Mississippi, you will notice that people in Mississippi have different color skin. Some people have white skin like me, some people have brown skin, some people have black skin. It's very diverse. So a little different than other parts of the world. In Mississippi, everyone looks different, but we're still from the same area. So here's a little bit about Mississippi.
Every good trip writes a story, and at the heart of it, you find what rings true, what speaks to you. It's the people, the laughter, the magnificent surprises that remind you that an itinerary is just a list. But this is life, and it couldn't happen anywhere else, at least not like this. Mississippi. It's the birthplace of America's music, the bone-deep sound that changed the world, the love of a fifth-generation fried chicken recipe, and the passion of a brilliantly reinvented Southern cuisine. It's the majestic peace of a riverbed, or a decidedly non-peaceful night out. It's the art, architecture, and history. The words of Faulkner and Welty, Willie Morris, and Richard Wright. And a community learning together from the lessons of the past. The Mississippi story is alive. You don't need a guidebook. Just let your trip unfold and tell its own tale. Mississippi, it's that one place, that one moment, so genuine, it becomes a part of you.
Okay, so that is Mississippi. That is where I'm from. That is my culture. We like to say that we have the best music and the best food in the world. That is just part of Mississippi's diverse culture. So with the United States tourism, right now, 77 million people come to the United States every year before the pandemic. But now, because of the coronavirus, visitors are limited. If you are from China, Iran, United Kingdom, Ireland, Brazil, and other parts of Europe, you cannot come to America, to the United States right now. If you do come to the United States, you have to quarantine for 14 days. And right now in the United States, only 15 international airports are open. And before coronavirus, there were hundreds of airports open. But right now there's only 15, which is not a lot for the United States. The visa process, I have a very quick video about the visa process that I will show you. But even, like I said, if you come to the United States right now, you must quarantine for 2 weeks.
This is America. This is America. This, that, those, all America. Every year, millions of people are issued visas to travel to America. Some for tourism, some to visit friends and family, some to study, some for medical treatment, some for business meetings, and even some who just like to shop. All these people have something in common. They all applied for their visa to visit the United States online.
It's really hard to apply.
I heard it takes ages.
Maybe I'll go next year.
Forget all that. It's easier than ever. Start your application by visiting the U.S. Department of State's Consular Electronic Application Center. go to ceac.state.gov. Follow the link for Form DS-160, Online Non-Immigrant Visa Application. From the drop-down menu, select the city and country where you will apply for your visa and start your application. Select a security question and answer. Click Continue. Note your application ID because you may need it later. Now you are ready to apply. You will be asked to provide information about yourself, your family, your reason for traveling, and other important information. Make sure to answer all of the questions accurately to avoid any delays in your visa process. For students, make sure you have your I-20 form and CVIS payment receipt from your school. Pay any necessary fees for your visa, following the instructions available on the website of the U.S. Embassy or consulate where you will apply. For assistance, visit usembassy.state.gov to find the website of the U.S. Embassy or consulate where you will apply, or visit the contact page at travel.state.gov. It's that easy. Before you know it, you could be here, or even here. For the most reliable information about visas and how to apply, visit usvisas.state.gov or the website of the U.S. Embassy or Consulate. See you in America.
So that is the process to apply for a visa. It's still active right now if you want to apply to come to the United States, but it may take a long time to get approved right now because of the coronavirus. So for example, before the coronavirus, this is what New York looked like. You can see if you look at all of those those people, it was very crowded and you would be shoulder to shoulder, kind of like Jakarta, very crowded. But now after the coronavirus, this is what it looks like. People are not allowed to walk around like this anymore. And if you do walk around, you must wear a face mask. So you can see one of the most visited places in the United States, people are not allowed to go to right now because of the coronavirus. I made a quick top 10 tourist attractions in the United States. As you can see, the first one is the Grand Canyon in Arizona. We have Yellowstone in Wyoming, the Statue of Liberty in New York, Yosemite National Park in California, Walt Disney World in Florida, the White House in Washington, D.C., Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, the Golden Gate Bridge in California, Everglades National Park in Florida, and Hawaii volcanoes in Hawaii. So here's some pictures of the top tourist place in the United States. So this is the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, the Statue of Liberty, Walt Disney World in Florida, which right now with the coronavirus, they just opened back up last week where you can go to Walt Disney World, but it's very expensive right now and only a few people can go at a time, and you must wear a mask. A lot of these tourist attractions are still open, but only for small numbers of people. So the price has gone up, and a lot of people are not traveling because it's just not safe right now. As you can see, this was before the coronavirus. Hundreds of people would visit the White House where the president lives, and now you don't see those crowds because of the coronavirus. And in the United States, we don't have very many volcanoes like Indonesia, but Hawaii is known for their volcanoes, and so that's one of the biggest tourist attractions in that area. But that's all that I have for you today. If you have questions, you can type them in the chat box. And here's some photos of me in my tourism to Indonesia with my husband. This was in Sumatra, and we hiked in Sumatra. This was in the Komodo Islands, and there are the Komodo dragons. So thank you, Terima kasih. It was nice to meet you. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat.
Thank you, Rebecca, for the information. So Rebecca informs us about how is the latest situation right now in the United States, especially about the tourism, that there are only 15 international airports are available or open, and also that there are not many people visit or travel because the coronavirus, or as I can see that Americans love to travel a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
But beforehand, but then now it's different. So everyone is home. And we go on the next speaker. Thank you, Rebecca, for your presentation. We go on the next speaker, Mr. Sofian from Perth, Australia. He will talk about the tourism sector in Australia. You have the floor, Mr. Sofian.
Okay, thanks Aini. Selamat pagi semua. Selamat pagi Pak Ali. It's a pleasure to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank to IAIN Kediri to have me as a speaker. It's a privilege for me to share my experiences as a practitioner, as a tourism operator in Western Australia. As Aini mentioned before, I am the CEO of Adelphi Executive Charter. Before I go further, all right. Okay, I'm the CEO of Adelphi Executive Charter. So we're not a big company. We are small. I'm running it with my wife, and we have 5 staff in the office and some driver. We own some buses here, and we specialize in the Indonesian market, Malaysian market, and Singaporean market. So we are an inbound travel agents. They are outbound and inbound. So outbound means that you're going out. Inbound means people who are going in. We plan for most of the schedules when they are here. We contact all the restaurants. We manage the transportation. We manage all the attractions for our customers. And our customers are varies from leisure, MICE, which is meeting incentive for corporates, and then government as well. Our company actually dealing a lot with East Java government, East Java province, because East Java and Western Australia have a relationship. Hello? Everyone okay?
Okay.
Okay. Let's continue. So East Java and Western Australia is a sister province.
Mr. Sofian, sorry to interrupt, but
yep.
Could you please share the slide?
Oh, I thought I have, hang on.
I just want to make sure that we all can see the slide from your presentation.
Okay, one moment.
Yes, thank you.
How's that, Aini?
Yeah, it was good. Thank you. You can see the slide right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay, cool. So East Java and Western Australian government are sister province. So I would say at least 4 or 5 times government send delegate to research all sort of things. So I usually handle them as well when they're coming to Perth. Before I go further, actually, this is what we do in Australia. when we give a presentation. I would like to acknowledge the past and present Aboriginal people as the traditional owner and custodian of the land. The Aborigines has been occupying the Australian land since 40,000 years ago. Now, let me introduce you to Western Australia. All right. Well, Western Australia is the largest state in Australia by land size. Australia is actually not a really big country. Population of Australia is about 27 million. However, our land size is huge. We are actually the smallest continent in the world. Western Australia is the biggest state in Australia. About 1/3 of it is Western Australia. If you can imagine the north, so the top of Western Australia, and the south, which is the bottom of Western Australia, that is about hour and a half hours. That's how big Western Australia is, right? Population wise in Western Australia, we have about 2.6 million people live in Western Australia. About 1.5 million people, I mean, live in the city area, in the urban area. And then the rest, they live in the countryside. Capital city of Western Australia, obviously, is Perth. We are actually in the west of Australia. We are quite isolated from the other capital cities. Most capital cities are in the East Coast. To illustrate, Melbourne, probably you are the most popular. Melbourne and Sydney are probably the most popular cities in Australia. They are located in the East Coast. So from Perth to Melbourne, it's about 4,000 kilometers. From Perth to Sydney is about 4,500 kilometers. By aeroplane, I would say about just slightly less than 5 hours. So from west to east is probably about 5 hours. Tourist attractions in Western Australia mostly are natures and landscapes, including beaches, parks and garden, the flora and fauna, history and cultures, food and drink, lifestyles, and many more. Now, I'm going to show you a video, a short 3 minutes videos about some attraction in Western Australia.
Okay, we are still trying to wait for the video. Kindly wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the delay here.
It's okay, no worries.
Maybe while we wait, probably maybe some of you wonder how far is Western Australia from Surabaya? From Surabaya, we are probably about 3.5 hours by aeroplane, about 3 hours from Bali. And the time difference between Surabaya and Perth, we are 1 hour ahead. So we are, at the moment, we are 11:30 here in Perth. So that means it's 10:30 in Surabaya. So just 1 hour away. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here with the computer. I'm sorry, everyone.
Let
me try another way.
Yeah, it's okay, Mr. Sofian. Yeah. So we can say that Australia is actually not that far from Indonesia. Yeah. I mean, United States are farther. For the participants, if you have question, yeah, while waiting for Mr. Sofian, if you have question, you can chat.
No. Yeah, well, Australia. Okay, let me just reopen this PowerPoint slide.
For sure, yeah.
And then I'm going
So
to.
the participants can chat or ask the question to the presenters. So after this, we are going to read your question. Yeah.
Oh, what's going on here? All right, I'm going to share my screen again to you.
Okay.
All right, can everyone see the YouTube?
Oh yeah, we can see from here. That
Okay.
works.
I'm going to play this video.
These landscapes may look like they're from completely different worlds. They're all from Western Australia. Not just a place of natural beauty. Its capital city, Perth, is the western gateway to Australia and has become one of the country's most exciting destinations. Buzzing with new dining, drinking, cultural and entertainment hubs, plus a mix of new accommodation. The city now has some of the best and most affordable rooms in Australia. All of this is complemented by a unique mix of natural experiences right on the city's doorstep. Even our unique wildlife is making waves.
I'm sorry about the internet connection, everyone.
Yeah, it's okay. It sometimes happens here as well. So no worries, Mr. Sofian. But we can see how the video works. I mean, how the video plays. So it's not that bad. But we cannot hear the voice. We cannot listen to the voice or the audio.
All right. Oh, really?
Yeah. So it stopped here from my laptop.
So there's no audio.
Yeah, here we cannot listen to the audio of the video. Or do you think you can just go on the presentation, or what's the best for you?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to continue so we don't waste time. Some attraction that are most popular in Western Australia are the Kings Park. Kings Park it's a garden. It's actually a city forest located in the city center in Perth. What's unique about it? What's unique about Kings Park?
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Sofian.
Sorry about the video.
Yeah. Could you please show us the slide?
Yes.
Ikaw mendela pe awake dhewe iki ya.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, can you see the slides, Aini?
Yeah, it's still
Is
beginning.
everyone can see the slides?
It's still the process from here. Yeah, we got it. Good. Go on.
Okay. All right, you got the slides. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, I have to capture the video because somehow it doesn't work. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you what are the most popular attractions, tourist attractions in Western Australia. So we have Kings Park, which is a city forest. It's about 400 hectares, located in the heart of the city of Perth. It has a historical value. So when the early settlers found Perth, they built the settlements in Kings Park. So they built the first houses there. Kings Park was, I think, about 7 years ago, was nominated as the 4th best garden in the world by TripAdvisory. It is really beautiful. You can see the picture of my slides. So that's the view from Kings Park. Kings Park also, if you can imagine the size, it's 400 hectares. Mostly they are still bushes. About 8 hectares are gardens. They are being used as a public garden, so everyone can go. It's free of charge, 24 hours. So we who live in Perth, we are very proud of Kings Park. Other than Kings Park, we have the Pink Lake. If you see the quick video just now, there's a big lake, but its water is pink. So that's popular as well as a tourist attraction. Other attractions are the Pinnacle. They are the formation of historical limestone or rocks that has been in the process that actually come from the ground for thousands of years. So those are some attractions that are popular in Western Australia. Western Australia is also popular with its wine. Wine lovers, actually, for the wine lovers, Malacca River is a very popular wine region in Western Australia. It have award-winning Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet. For some of you wine lovers, you know them. All right, now the next one, I'm going to show you some data of tourism in Western Australia. The international visitors, this is last year data from March 2019 to March 2020. International visitors is just slightly less than 1 million people. Interstate means tourists from other states, from Sydney, from Melbourne, from Adelaide. There are about 1.8 million people. And then interstate means local tourists, so people who live in Western Australia. They are the biggest market here. So about 9 million people. Their spending, though, international visitors spend about $2 billion, Interstate also spend about 2 billion, whereas the intrastate, which is the biggest number, spend about $4 billion. In terms of how many nights they spend, international visitors spend 24 million nights, interstate visitors about 14 million nights, and the intrastate visitors about 34 million nights. So those are some numbers. Another data here from the international visitors. Number one is from the UK. About 135,000 people came to Western Australia. And then Singapore, 100,000 people, Malaysia, 93,000. As you can see, Indonesia is the number 8. By spending, the first one is from China, and then UK, followed by Singapore, and again, Indonesia is number 8. The WA Tourism Council, before the pandemic, they are so confident that this year, 2020-2021, the number will grow up to 11%. Our business, Adelphi, was going really well. I even promised my wife that we may upgrade our family car if our business, you know, is doing really well. But my dream car actually gone after something evil called COVID came. So this illustrates how my dream changed. The car on the left, that was what I promised. And the picture on the right is how it becomes after COVID. I joked to my wife, it's still a Mercedes. It's 2-door, just a little bit bigger. All right, so here's the story when the COVID came. Australian government applied a hard border restriction, and the same with United States, 14 days quarantine. However, compared to United States, we don't allow any visitors to come. So we close our borders to tourists from anywhere in the world. Only Australian resident, Australian citizen are allowed to come back to our countries. Our airports are still open. However, it's only, as I mentioned, it's only open for residents returning to Australia. We have gathering restrictions. It started in March when the government started to do the lockdown. I think we are restricted to less than 5 people in gathering. So you cannot be together in more than 5 people. A lot of venues are closed. Gym, sporting venues, cinemas, entertainment venues, casino, nightclubs, they have to close. Restaurants and cafe, they're only doing takeaway and delivery. Supermarkets are still open because they are considered essential. Our 14 days quarantine, when we started the restriction, we started with quarantining at home. But the government changed now that residents who come back to Australia, they now have to quarantine in a hotel chosen by the government. All right. No international visitors, interstate visitors as well. So other than So people from Sydney or Melbourne, they're not allowed to come to Western Australia. Visitors dropped 99.3%. Some industry gets the biggest hit. One of the biggest airline here is called Virgin. They have declared bankrupt. Crown Group, which operates the casino and hotels, they put down 95% of their employees. Car rental, and of course, our company as well, Delphi, we get affected. All confirmed booking were canceled, and then we suddenly lost more than $250,000 worth of business. This came with no warning, and we did not prepare at all. Suddenly, we just lost income, and no income, but we still have to pay our expenses, of course, office rent, insurances, wages, and maintenance. So we have to think, we have to do something to survive. What I did as the CEO of the company, of course, I rang around. I rang the Tourism Council because we are a member, and we rang the government, especially the tourism agency. The government here are pretty good. They have given us a recovery fund and some business grants. The government helped us with a scheme they call the job keeper and the job seeker. So the job keeper is given to businesses. All right, we get $3,000 a month, so we can keep our employee working. For those who are unfortunate, they can get a job seeker. So for those people who get redundant, they can get help, a recovery fund from the government. I think they get $1,200 per fortnight. So about $2,400 per month. So those are the help that the government gives to us. Now, as a business owner, I see a lot of challenges in this situation. I try to keep the cost down. All those unnecessary expenses are cut down. We reduce the hours of our employees. They used to be a full-time. We put them on a casual basis, which means if we need them, we give them a call, they come and work. And then I have to think, what's going to change in this industry? Our business has been hibernating for almost 6 weeks until the restriction was loosened recently. The Western Australian government have made a roadmap. Pretty much when phase 1 to phase 6, we are now in phase 4, and we are going into phase 5 on 15th of August. So phase 1 is very hard restriction. Now we are in phase 4. We have loosened up. Social gathering has been lifted up, and then we can travel around interstate as well. So now people are start to going to tourist attraction. So it started since phase 2, tour operators, caravan parks, restaurants, tourist attractions slowly start to open up and serve intrastate customers. The government is actually helping as well by luring, persuading major sports event to be held in Western Australia. For example, Australian football industry. Western Australia at the moment, it's one of the best performing in terms of keeping us safe. We don't have many new cases. We had 0 cases for weeks. Recently, we had about 2 cases a day, probably about 2 or 3 cases a day. There are about 16 cases, 16 active cases only in Western Australia. So we are considered one of the best state in managing COVID. So the government tried to persuade sports club, hey, let's come to Western Australia. You can play here. You can have the competition here. So that's what the government did. Some problem in the tourism industry at the moment. Some tour operators, adventure, especially, for example, safari, quad bike, jet boat, skydiving, they have to close down. Although the restriction is no longer here. They can't operate because of insurance problem. What I gathered, some information, it was because the insurance company is charging like crazy amount of premium. The government at the moment is working to solve this problem because obviously many people get affected with this insurance problem. Due to JobKeeper, you probably think that JobKeeper is good because helping people, employ people. Owner also have been complaining. Some people who gets JobKeeper, some of them they don't want to work more, because they think that I already get money from JobKeeper, from the government. Why should I work more? So some operators are having a problem with staffing, working more hours. Also, another problem is the geopolitical with our biggest trade partners. Australia's biggest trade partner is China. China relationship with Australia is not really in a good term at the moment, and it is not ideal for tourism. Chinese government also have given their people some travel warning, saying that there are a racism problem here in Australia, target the Chinese people. But also flying restriction also a problem at the moment. Obviously, the cost is very expensive, and also I think people are still concerned with some people that I spoke to. They said I might catch the COVID in the aeroplane. That's really a concern as well. Entry restriction, the quarantine, the health check, and the visa requirement are getting more difficult now. For the cruise industry, travelers, I think cruise industry is really in a bad situation at the moment, because we had COVID transmission in a cruise ship. So people at the moment does not trust cruise. They are concerned about their safety when they are traveling in a cruise ship. So these are the factors that I reckon will influence travelers when they visit Australia, or actually other countries as well. It will take some years for travelers to get used to it. I've spoken to a lot of business owners as well, my customers in Indonesia, in Singapore, in Malaysia. A lot of them, they are still wait and see, pushing for local tourism, international borders open. The Western Australia government, they promotes road trips. For Adelphi, our company, we have started creating a tour for people who live in the Indonesian people, the Malaysian, Singaporean people who live in Western Australia, who are resident here. We make a day trip tour, you know, visit Margaret River. We go in the morning, we come back at night. So that's what we have been starting to do. With other market, the MICE market, the corporate market, I think it will be slower to get up compared to the leisure market. The government still have large gathering restriction. I think we don't allow more than 200 people together. Corporate events are mostly done digitally now. They can showcase their, you know, products online. Meetings are conducted online, and from the people, some people that I've been talking to, unnecessary meetings have been put on hold. All right, I think that's the end of my presentation. I hope you can take away some of my presentation today. Any question?
Okay,
just
thank
bring
you.
it forward to the chat.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sofian, for the great explanation. So we can get the idea or in the information on how the tourism industry changed a lot, and then how people have the same problem. I think it's the same problem all over the world in this country, all over the countries in this world, I mean, and how people who have the business survive. And yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree on what you were saying, that it takes time, yeah, to get up. But then we believe that people will get used to it. Thank you, Mrs. Sofian. And I would like to invite now our third speaker from Kediri. Nah, that we have been waiting for, yang kita tunggu-tunggu ya, Bapak Ayub. Selamat pagi, Bapak, dari
Selamat pagi.
Disbud Parpora, Dinas Kebudayaan Pariwisata Pemuda dan Olahraga. Kami sangat antusias Bapak untuk mengetahui bagaimanakah perkembangan peraturan terbaru tentang sektor industri pariwisata, apalagi dengan situasi yang seperti ini, pasti we believe that some rules change ya. So kepada Bapak kami persilahkan.
Oke, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Suara saya terdengar jelas ya, Bu Aini?
Ya.
Terima kasih. Saya sapa dulu yang hadir di sini, presenter pertama tadi Rebecca, Pak Sofyan, dan moderator beserta host Bu Ria, serta Pak Ali Anwar ini ya. Perkenalkan, saya Muhammad Ayub, Kepala Bidang Pariwisata Kota Kediri pada Dinas Kebudayaan, Pariwisata, Kepemudaan, dan Olahraga Kota Kediri. Di sini kami ingin menyampaikan sekilas tentang pariwisata Kota Kediri terdampak coronavirus 19 tahun 2020 ini. Sebelumnya mari kita saksikan dulu video yang ingin kami sharing to all of you. I'm sorry I can't speak English well.
It's okay, Bapak. It's okay. You speak English.
Baik, itu tadi sekilas dari apa yang sudah kita lakukan untuk mengantisipasi nanti pada saat new normal. Baik, Bapak Ibu, kami akan menyampaikan sekilas tentang pariwisata Kota Kediri, sekilas selayang pandang. Mungkin ini nanti bisa menjadi referensi bagi Bapak Ibu beserta audiens di sini untuk bagaimana selanjutnya kita merencanakan sesuatu ke depan, khususnya di bidang tourism atau pariwisata.
Nah, iya ya. Kediri.
Baik, pertama perkenalkan saya Muhammad Ayu. Sejak 2019 ini saya membidangi pariwisata. Jadi kami di Dinas Kebudayaan, Pariwisata, Kepemudaan dan Olahraga Kota Kediri ini menjadi satu untuk urusan pariwisatanya. Jadi di pariwisata itu ditangani oleh seorang kepala bidang, yaitu saya, yang menangani seluruh kepariwisataan khususnya di Kota Kediri. Dan sebelum itu saya juga sempat menjabat di Kepala Kelurahan Semambir, Kota Kediri. Nah, semenjak virus corona atau COVID-19 ini merebak di negara kita, kita sudah mengantisipasinya melalui beberapa peraturan, khususnya regulasi dari tingkat pusat maupun di tingkat daerah, khususnya di Kota Kediri, seperti Kepres nomor 12 tahun 2020 terkait dengan penetapan bencana non-alam, kemudian sampai dengan peraturan Wali Kota Kediri nomor 16 tahun 2020. Jadi tentang pengendalian kegiatan hiburan dan perdagangan dalam rangka percepatan penanganan coronavirus disease 2019. Nah, selama peraturan wali kota ini belum dicabut, nah kami sangat menyayangkan, bahkan secara pendapat kami pun ini juga berdampak bagi PAD kami, jadi pendapatan asli daerah Kota Kediri. Jadi tidak hanya kita yang tidak bisa bepergian kemana-mana, kita tidak bisa traveling, nah kita tidak bisa menuju suatu destinasi ataupun daya tarik wisata. Nah, karena apa? Kita masih dalam zona yang belum memungkinkan untuk membuka seluruh destinasi atau daya tarik wisata. Nah, semuanya kita tutup sambil menunggu kita memasuki paling tidak mendekati ke zona hijau. Ini adalah instruksi dari Kementerian Koordinator Maritim dan Investasi. Pada saat yang lalu kita mengadakan video conference bahwasanya dari Kementerian Pariwisata dan juga saran himbauan dari Pak Menko, Pak pada masing-masing daerah. Apakah turisme itu bisa dibuka ataupun bagaimana dibukanya itu menurut protokol kesehatan itu tergantung dari kondisi daerah masing-masing pada saat ini dia atau lokasi atau daerah itu memasuki zona apa. Nah, kita lihat di sini semua destinasi di Kota Kediri belum ada yang buka. Nah, kita pun juga tidak bisa mengadakan event-event secara offline. We just create our virtual like culture, music, etc. Nah, kita bisa mengadakan itu secara virtual yang sudah kita lakukan beberapa hari ini, bahkan ada kalau tidak salah 1 minggu lebih ini kita mengadakan virtual atau ngamen virtual itu di channel YouTube yang sudah dilakukan oleh teman-teman dari bidang kebudayaan dan teman-teman pekerja seni. Nah, apa yang sudah dilakukan oleh Disbud Parpora pada saat pandemi ini, nah kita sudah membagikan sejak awal pada saat pandemi ini terjadi, kita menyalurkan bantuan dari Kemenparekraf pada 123 tenaga kerja usaha pariwisata khususnya yang dirumahkan terdampak COVID-19. Kita juga memberikan atau bantu promosi produk kuliner melalui sosial media atau medsos di kita, baik di Disbud Parpora maupun di yang dihandle oleh tim kreatif pemerintah Kota Kediri, baik itu Harmoni Kediri, Harmoni TV, kemudian Kediri Tourism dan sebagainya. Kemudian yang kita lakukan pada masa pandemi ini, kita juga selalu memperhatikan atau mendengarkan apa yang menjadi masukan dari pelaku atau pemilik usaha pariwisata khususnya yang sudah kita lakukan ini terkait dengan usaha pariwisata di bidang akomodasi, hotel, rumah makan, resto, dan kafe. Nah, ini kita sosialisasikan Perwali nomor 16 tahun 2020 tadi, bahwasanya boleh buka dengan syarat-syarat dan ketentuan sebagaimana diatur dalam Regulation of Mayor tersebut. Nah, apa yang sudah kita lakukan juga, seperti yang sudah kita saksikan tadi, kita memberikan edukasi bagaimana menyikapi nanti pada saat the new normal akan dilaksanakan oleh Kota Kediri. Nah, ini adalah bentuk upaya kami untuk mensosialisasikan dan terus menghidupkan pariwisata di Kota Kediri. Kita juga memberikan bantuan masker pada seluruh ataupun mayoritas pekerja atau karyawan di sektor pariwisata. Ada bantuan dari Kemenparekraf RI disalurkan pada tenaga kerja usaha pariwisata sebanyak 1.940 masker. Nah, pada beberapa waktu yang lalu kita juga mengadakan pelatihan tata kelola destinasi wisata Kota Kediri dalam persiapan protokol kesehatan menuju normal baru atau new normal. Nah, di sini kita lakukan pada saat itu dengan skema penuh pada seperti yang dianjurkan oleh gugus tugas COVID-19 Kota Kediri khususnya. Kita jaga jarak mulai dari masuk sampai dengan akhir pelaksanaan pelatihan ini juga sesuai dengan standar yang dianjurkan protokol kesehatan COVID-19. Nah, apa saja yang di dalamnya ini kita berikan kepada peserta? Ya, salah satunya selain protokol kesehatan itu juga untuk menyiapkan destinasi pada saat nanti benar-benar sudah dibuka. Jadi kita menyiapkan juga ada pendampingan dari tim ahli dan juga ada tim MONEV atau monitoring dan evaluasi kepada masing-masing pengelola destinasi ataupun daya tarik wisata di Kota Kediri. Nah, ini yang sudah kita lakukan juga yang saya sampaikan tadi, ngamen virtual bisa dilihat di channel YouTube ya, tiap hari ini ada ngamen virtual atau bisa disaksikan di channelnya Disbud Parpora Kota Kediri atau juga bisa disaksikan di Harmoni ya di Harmoni TV. Jadi di ngamen virtual ini kita bisa berdonasi khususnya kepada pekerja seni dan alhamdulillah ini mereka itu tidak dibayar ya. Jadi mereka itu kita hanya mensupport untuk acara dengan dana yang minim sekali. Mereka menyelenggarakan ini, mereka sangat antusias bagaimana pekerja seni ini bisa eksis, bisa berjuang di masa pandemi ini dengan mengadakan konser-konser seperti ini. Ya, sekali lagi silakan untuk nanti malam bisa ditengok channelnya di Ngamen Virtual Kota Kediri. Nah, bagaimana untuk persiapan ke depan memulai new normal atau kehidupan normal baru yang sesuai dengan protokol kesehatan? Kita harusnya menyiapkan standar operation prosedur. Baik itu yang meliputi destinasi, hotel atau akomodasi, food and beverage services, tour and travel transportation, spa, MICE, tour guide. Nah, ini semua kita sudah menyiapkan, tinggal menunggu instruksi ataupun petunjuk dari khususnya gugus tugas. Apakah semua sektor pariwisata secara penuh ini akan kita buka atau hanya sementara sebagian saja. Nah, ini sudah banyak sekali yang dari pelaku usaha pariwisata di Kota Kediri khususnya yang dari sektor hiburan ini sudah ancang-ancang, mereka itu sudah menanyakan, Pak, ini kapan dibuka? Yang lain sudah dibuka dan seterusnya. Destinasi pun juga demikian, wahana air khususnya yang resikonya paling besar ya. Kemudian wahana yang alam seperti sumber bandeng, nah itu mereka sementara ini masih close, masih tutup, menunggu petunjuk dari pimpinan. Nah, berdasarkan itu kita mengacu kepada surat keputusan Kepala Disbud Parprov. Nah, di dalamnya itu meliputi apa yang diatur, SOP yang kita siapkan. SOP di dalamnya itu meliputi bagaimana menyiapkan area atau suatu destinasi yang akan dikunjungi. Area itu seperti apa? Misalkan di sini saya sebut saja salah satunya Selo Mangkleng. Nah, di sana itu diatur bagaimana lokasi itu dipersiapkan untuk mengantisipasi pengunjung yang datang. Seperti yang sudah sampaikan tadi, misalkan Kampung Tenun di Bandar Kidul ya. Saya harap semuanya sudah tahu ya ini. Kampung Tenun Bandar Kidul, mereka juga menyiapkan bagaimana seandainya terjadi pelonjakan pengunjung ke sana. Nah, ini kita harus menyiapkan untuk area dan juga pekerja. Ini menyangkut seluruh pekerja baik itu sektor daya tarik, kawasan wisata, makanan, minuman, wisata tirta, spa, semua itu diatur dalam SOP ini. Nah, nanti bisa kalau lebih jelasnya di-download di ini ya, surat keputusan ini. Ini semuanya diatur secara jelas dan detail. Bagaimana kita membuka, misalkan yang di Kota Kediri ini kan sifatnya hiburan ya, kota jasa. Nah, itu seperti apa? Kita mau membuka karaoke misalkan. Nah, di situ semua diatur dalam SOP itu. Dan juga itu mengikat atau SOP itu mengikat kepada pengunjung lainnya dan lainnya. Artinya pengunjung yang datang pun juga harus mematuhi SOP yang sudah akan kita siapkan itu. Dan juga sektor-sektor yang menempel di sekitar itu. Misalkan pedagang yang datang dan seterusnya, parkir dan seterusnya. Itu juga menjadi perhatian kami juga. Nah, kemudian rencana kegiatan ke depan apa? Atau saat ini yang sudah kita lakukan dan ke depan, ini salah satunya, beberapa di antaranya ini, festival dan review kuliner virtual yang akan kita lakukan, lanjutan pelatihan tata kelola usaha pariwisata, session 2, workshop foto and video, khususnya bagi destinasi wisata, just like InstaFest. Mungkin sebagian dari kita banyak yang tahu InstaFest semacam pertemuan dari para pelaku medsos khususnya di Instagram. Ini nanti kita undang bagaimana untuk mempromot atau mempromosikan destinasi wisata yang ada di Kota Kediri. Dan juga sekaligus memberikan workshop kepada pengelola. Kemudian ada pendampingan kampung dan kelurahan wisata yang ini akan intensif kita lakukan. Kemudian pertunjukan yang saya sampaikan tadi bisa disaksikan di channel YouTube di Ngamen Virtual Kota Kediri. Nah, selanjutnya waiting and all struggle for new or true normal. What you like? New or true normal? Okay, I like true normal.
Iya.
Maybe like that. Oke. Mudah-mudahan bisa tercapai ya.
Amin.
Vaksinnya dan kita bisa menjalani kehidupan sebagaimana sebelum terjadinya pandemi ini.
Yeah.
Oke. Tantangan dan isu strategis lah ini perlu kita sampaikan. Kediri is not the destination of tourism. No. Kediri adalah kota hub, artinya kota antara, kota transit, bukan tujuan utama. Orang bisa berrekreasi, berpiknik atau traveling ataupun menuju suatu destinasi di sekitar Kediri. Seperti contohnya Tulungagung, Blitar, Trenggalek, Kabupaten Kediri paling dekat, Anjuk. Nah, mereka ke Gunung Kelut, tetapi diusahakan kita sebagai kota jasa. Nah, pendukung sektor pariwisata. We're not a tourism city, but we support the tourism like that. Oke. Nah, kenapa? Nih, ada tantangan dan isu strategis baik ini peluang maupun ancaman. Nah, kenapa peluang? Karena kalau kita bisa memanage dengan baik, ini adalah menjadi suatu potensi yang luar biasa untuk kemajuan khususnya tourism di Kota Kediri. Tetapi jika kita tidak bisa memanage sesuai dengan karakteristik geografis dan demografis Kota Kediri, nah ini bisa menjadi ancaman. Oleh karena itu, kita harus kreatif. Seperti saat ini kita dituntut kreatif, semua serba online. Seperti yang disampaikan Rebecca sama Pak Sofyan tadi, mereka berpindah mekanismenya ataupun track bisnisnya ke online dan seterusnya. Apa saja itu? Tantangannya ini pembangunan Bandara Kediri yang sudah mulai berjalan, kemudian tol Kertosono Kediri, dan tol Kediri Batu. Oke, kalau kita mau ke Malang atau ke Batu nanti insya Allah lebih cepat. Nah, ada juga ini yang terbaru yaitu
Pak Sufian, mohon maaf salah. Pak Ayub. Oh, I think there is some error or trouble.
Di Selingkar Wilis itu.
Oh, iya.
Jadi mengembangkan Selingkar Wilis ini. Halo, bisa dengar ya?
Iya, bisa Bapak, bisa.
Oke. Kita mengembangkan turisme di sekitar Gunung Wilis ini bekerjasama dengan beberapa daerah atau kabupaten kota yang ada di sekitarnya. Bagaimana nanti menciptakan connection atau interconnection antara kabupaten kota ini sehingga antara satu destinasi di suatu daerah dengan daerah lain itu menjadi mudah. Nah, ini masih tahap pengembangan dan sudah mulai berjalan step by step. Nah, bagaimana dengan pengembangan pariwisata Kota Kediri? Daya tarik wisata perlu kita sampaikan ada alam, budaya, dan buatan. Nah, alam seperti apa? Potensi SDA, sumber daya alam, we don't have it, okay? Just kelotok, selomangkleng, like this. Nah, kita tidak punya sumber daya alam yang sifatnya wow, like mountain cloud, no, seperti Danau Toba, Gunung Ijen dan seterusnya. Tidak. Kita Kota Kediri khususnya kita hanya mempunyai bukit atau gunung kelotok yang itu sebagian besar bukan masuk dalam ranah kepemilikan kita, tapi kita bisa memanfaatkan dengan bekerja sama. Nah, budaya apa? Ini yang perlu kita lebih tingkatkan atau kembangkan. Di dalamnya itu ada perkotaan, perdesaan, seperti yang tadi saya sampaikan, ada kampung-kampung wisata atau kelurahan wisata, yang di dalamnya ada klaster-klaster, klaster kuliner, klaster misalkan budaya, klaster pengrajin, dan seterusnya. Sejarah dan religi lah, ini sebenarnya kita sudah melakukan ini rutin. Bagaimana kita menggali potensi yang ada di Kota Kediri, khususnya kita ini sebagai kota yang sudah berusia 1141 tahun, yang kemarin Senin itu kita berulang tahun. Selamat untuk Kota Kediri. Nah, itu yang harus kita gali, sejarah dan religi. Cagar budaya di Kota Kediri itu cukup banyak. Nah, nanti kita tayangkan sekilas. Kemudian kuliner, seni, dan tradisi. Nah, ini juga kita kaya akan kuliner, seni, dan tradisi yang ini mensupport pariwisata atau tourism yang ada di sekitar Kota Kediri. Orang boleh bepergian ke Gunung Kelut, ke pantai di Tulungagung atau di Trenggalek, tapi kita harus mensupport untuk akomodasi, untuk atraksi itu di Kota Kediri. Nah, ini kita menuntut khususnya warga Kota Kediri untuk kreatif, baik itu meniru maupun memodifikasi hal-hal yang baru. Nah, buatan apa? Kita ada taman, wahana permainan, dan lain-lain yang ini tentunya sudah eksis meskipun masih keadaannya seperti like that. Ya, kita masih terus untuk mengembangkan karena pariwisata ini dimanapun itu lebih banyak. Kita ada 3 triangle ya, antara pemerintah, swasta, dan masyarakat. Ini harus bekerja sama. Kalau pemerintah saja itu tidak bisa, swasta saja ini perlu regulasi, masyarakat saja apalagi perlu support di ketiga-tiganya. Nah, berikutnya pengembangan pariwisata Kota Kediri, kita ada program yang masuk unggulan, ada 10 program unggulan pemerintah Kota Kediri, dalam hal ini Bapak Abdullah Abu Bakar, Wali Kota Kediri, dalam RPJMD Kota Kediri 2020-2025. Di dalamnya ada salah satu program unggulan, yaitu Kampung Keren, kreatif dan independen. Nah, karena kita bukan destinasi, kita bukan kota yang menjadi tujuan utama pariwisata, kita adalah hub city, kita pendukung pariwisata, kita sebagai transit city. Nah, bagaimana orang stay lebih lama di Kota Kediri? Bagaimana orang ataupun turis itu bisa mengisi waktunya selama di Kota Kediri itu dengan hal-hal yang menarik? Entah itu di oleh-olehnya, atau di atraksinya, ataupun mungkin sekedar mengisi waktu luang dengan kampung-kampung yang tematik. Nah, ini kedepannya kita konsep seperti itu melalui salah satunya yang ada di sini adalah Community Empowerment Program atau program pemberdayaan masyarakat yang disingkat dengan Prodamas, di mana untuk tahun 2021 yang seharusnya 2020 ini itu dana yang digelontorkan oleh pemerintah kota itu senilai 100 juta per RT di seluruh RT Kota Kediri. Nah, ini sangat mendukung untuk sektor tourism, di mana masing-masing bidang dalam program itu nanti diarahkan kepada pembentukan ataupun pembangunan yang mengarah pada Kampung Keren. Kampung Keren is not about tourism, but all of attraction which is support tourism. Nah, jadi ini tidak hanya sekedar pariwisata saja, tetapi ekonomi di dalamnya juga. Yang di dalamnya ini adalah global, di tingkat kelurahan, bahkan di tingkat RT maupun lingkungan atau RW. Di sini kita lihat ada sumber banteng, ini adalah salah satu bentuk community based tourism. Jadi tourism atau pariwisata yang itu berdasar dari komunitas atau masyarakat. Nah, ini sudah mulai bermunculan di Kota Kediri. pada awalnya sumber bandeng ini hanya sekedar bertujuan untuk melestarikan sumber daya alam yang ada di situ, yaitu suatu sumber, kemudian ada sungainya, bagaimana sumber ini selalu mengeluarkan air yang besar, kemudian mereka berupaya untuk menghijaukan sekitarnya, merawat, menanam bunga-bunga, kemudian mempercantik kanan kirinya, kemudian memberi dengan berbagai spesies ikan. Jadilah itu tempat wisata. Padahal tujuan utama itu bukan untuk wisata, tetapi konsep ini yang akan kita terus apa istilahnya kita gali potensi. Kita banyak sekali sumber-sumber air di Kota Kediri, ada sumber Cakarsi, sumber Ciput dan seterusnya. Ini yang akan ke depan kita create melalui Prodamas dalam rangka program unggulan Kampung Keren ini. Ada juga yang sudah kita launching wisata edukasi Kampung Tahu yang ada di Kelurahan Tinalan. Nah, kemudian Kampung Tenun Bandar, wisata edukasi juga ini. Nah, ini yang di Kampung Dalem, mempersiapkan diri untuk membentuk suatu klaster wisata, baik itu wisata kuliner, wisata budaya, wisata kemudian pengrajin, itu sudah mereka siapkan. Kita tunggu saja karena mungkin terkena pandemi ini, akhirnya mereka jadi sedikit mundur. Nah, itu sangat memukul sekali untuk sektor seperti ini. Terima kasih, sangat singkat dari kami yang bisa kami sampaikan, semoga bermanfaat. Ada kurang lebihnya saya juga mohon maaf. Saya kembalikan pada Bu Moderator.
Iya, terima kasih Bapak atas presentasinya. Wah, benar-benar ya, pandemi telah merubah beberapa hal dan memang sepertinya beberapa sudah tidak sabar Bapak untuk benar-benar ingin pergi kemana gitu misalkan. Okay, so that's all the presentation from the head of the tourism sector, Disbud Parpora Kediri. I would like to again say hi to the presenters. Rebecca, are you still there? And Bapak Sofian, are you still there?
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Okay, so Rebecca, I would like to tell you a bit about what Pak Ayub explained to us. So it's about Kediri overall now, the situation, the latest situation. I think the same as Australia and United States, that there are some rules changes, that the tourism sector are closed. Still don't know when. We are still waiting for the government to have a new rule. But then people survive because there is a modern technology. So we have online things like selling something or buying product through online or something. And thank you very much for all the presenters. You have been doing great, and we are so lucky to have information. I would like to open for the questions. So we got here some questions from. Ooh, there are a lot of questions. I got to read one by one. Not to all the participants because we have limited. This is the first thing. Okay. So the question is to Rebecca. Hi, my name is Mufti. My warmest regards to Yayan Kadiri and to presenters, especially to Rebecca Setcher. I'm one of the cultural liaison. Do you still remember him? With having
Remember
presenters
you.
training. Yeah, and then the question is, what do the government of United States and Australia also, which means the question also to Pak Sofian. Again, I repeat, what do the governments of the United States and Australia do to make tourism industry survive during this pandemic? I think you both like explained, but can you explain us like specifically what do they do right now at a certain point right now exactly to make everything better, to make the tourism industry survive?
So in the United States, like you know, we have 50 states, and every state is responsible for their own rules and regulations with the coronavirus. So with Mississippi, we shut down everything in the month of March and April, and then around May, everything started opening back up, but very slowly. We had to wear masks, we had to social distance, but right now, similar to Australia, they're trying to open more and more up for tourism. Like I said in my presentation, Walt Disney World is open back up, which is one of the largest tourist places in the United States. So some places have opened back, and in other places, actually most places, they've opened with set rules and regulations. So in Mississippi right now, if you are gathering, it can only be 10 people on the inside and 20 people for outdoor events. So that's not very many people, and that does not leave very many tourist spots to remain open because of those numbers.
Thank you for your answer. Oh, we go to Bapak Sofian. Where is Bapak Sofian? I am looking for him. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
In Australia, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Aini?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear.
In Australia, in Australia, I think the most important that makes us survive is the recovery fund that is provided by the government. The JobKeeper, obviously to keep our staff still employed with us, and also some other business grants given from the government. I didn't mention that the government also have reduced some of the fees for us, the tourism operator. They hold up some expenses that they plan to increase this year. For example, the parks and registration that we have to apply to the Departments of Parks and Wildlife, they are going to increase the fees this year, but they hold it. Some of the registration are actually extended for free of charge. So that's the most important factor that we can survive, that we're still operating. The second thing that I reckon makes us survive is obviously when the government open the borders, when the government lift up the restriction, so we can start selling our products. That is very important. But obviously, I totally understand the government point of view when they have to put the restriction, then when they have to close the borders, is to keep us safe. Some people probably complains that, come on, open the borders, let us open, let us sell our business. But in the end, it's the community that we have to look after. That's what I think.
You're muted.
Am I muted now?
No. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
you're
Thank
muted.
you. Thank you for your answer. I would like to ask Bapak Ayub. Bapak Ayub, ya. Kalau di Kediri, Bapak kira-kira untuk yang belum memulai online, itu kira-kira apa Bapak tipsnya? Karena kan tidak semua penjual misalkan ketika memasarkan itu using an online. What about them who still use like a conventional ways of selling the product? Apakah di Kediri ada strategi khususnya untuk memperkenalkan, or what do you think?
Oke, kita sudah melakukan banyak hal terkait bagaimana mereka yang belum online maupun yang sudah online bisa dilihat di Instagram. Biasanya kita ada review UMKM khususnya kuliner maupun UMKM yang lain. Kita melalui medsos itu, di Instagram itu kita mereview, bahkan masing-masing perangkat daerah atau katakanlah sebutlah dinas itu diwajibkan untuk mereview 1 atau 2 produk UMKM itu untuk kita promosikan. Sebenarnya ini sudah kita lakukan khususnya melalui dinas perdagangan dan perindustrian maupun dinas koperasi dan UMKM. Kita bekerja sama dengan itu, kita sudah melakukannya, dan juga di dalam virtual atau ngamen virtual yang saya sampaikan tadi, kita mereview mereka yang sudah online maupun belum, kita review di sela-sela kegiatan virtual itu.
Iya, baik. Berarti
itu bisa
selalu
dilihat
ada cara ya.
Di akunnya Pemkot Kediri maupun di Kediri Tourism.
Iya. Wah, bangga menjadi orang Kediri ya, sangat suportif sekali.
Dan perlu kami sampaikan ada informasi virtual Expo 2020 besok.
Betul.
30
iya, besok
Juli.
Ya. Iya.
Dengan 2 Agustus. Virtual Expo.
Begitu. Oke. Baik, Bapak. Terima kasih atas informasinya. So we go on the next question. I think this question belongs to Rebecca. So the question is from Laode Imam Muslim. Good morning, everyone. I am Laode Imam Muslim. Here is my question for Rebecca. What about the travel insurance in the United States? That's a very good question. Can you please tell us the travel insurance?
So the travel insurance to enter the United States is different for every country. So what I recommend is going to, actually I will show, let's see. I recommend,
it's different from every country, yeah? Okay.
Yes. What I recommend is going to this website.
Okay.
And this website has all the information of how to travel from Indonesia to the United States, and you can look at it in Bahasa Indonesia as well. It has all the information. So if people receive this PowerPoint, they can go and they can search for insurance, and it will tell you the price and what type of insurance you need to have from Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. It's about the travel insurance. I think we have one more question. Let's see. Okay, it's a Firdausi Amalia. It's from Firdausi Amalia. My question to Rebecca, I think, why do you like tourism sectors in Indonesia? And is there any basic differences between tourism sectors in the US and Indonesia?
Yeah, let me share my screen one more time. Let's see. As you can see at the end of my presentation, here's some photos of me traveling in Indonesia. I would say that some of the differences in tourism in the United States and tourism in Indonesia is that in Indonesia, there are a lot of natural volcanoes and things like Komodo dragons that we don't have in the United States. In the United States, you see a lot of man-made structures, so like the Golden Gate Bridge and Mount Rushmore and the Statue of Liberty and Walt Disney World. Those are a lot of the tourism with that. It's a lot of man-made activities, where in Indonesia you see a lot of natural, like mountains and oceans and volcanoes that people travel to.
Thank you. And this is going to be the last question for all the presenters. Yeah. What do you hope next and hereafter Like, do you have any, yeah, what do you hope for the tourism industry? What do you hope to run everything better next and in the future? Because we believe that the pandemic still going on, but yeah, that's it. What do you think?
So my hope was to come to Indonesia this summer.
Woo! We've been waiting. Please
I
come.
know.
Yeah. Please come to Gede.
Yes, we wanted to come and bring our baby and show our friends and family in Indonesia, but right now we cannot travel.
Yeah.
There are lots of countries that do not accept people from the United States until the coronavirus has calmed down. So my hope is that the government and the United States will take the coronavirus more serious so that we can start traveling again. Right now, it's very dangerous in the United States. I think we probably have the highest numbers in the world right now. It's very scary. So my hope is that, you know, people take it serious and wear the mask and social distance from one another. And then in the future, we will be able to travel and, you know, have fun with tourism again.
Yeah, I agree on what you said, that we need to take it seriously to get a better situation soon. Yeah. What about you, Bapak Sofian? What do you hope, especially in the sector of travel agent, for example? Yeah.
Well, of course, this COVID-19 has to come to an end, so we can start our business again. I'm hoping virus can be found as soon as possible, so everybody is, you know, back to our health. Well, I'm not too sure if we're gonna go back to the same old normal. It will be it will be a new normal. There will be new normals, like how we travel, how we how the you know, getting on a plane. What I heard recently, Emirates, I think you all know Emirates. It's an airline from Middle East. They have employed a new protocol. Everybody has to go to a swab test. Everybody has to wear gloves in the airplane, and as well as wearing masks in the airplane. So traveler have to be ready, have to adapt with the new health protocol when they are traveling. But in the end, to me, soon as this COVID-19 coronavirus is over, the vaccine is found, we can get back up and make more profits.
Thank you. Thank you, Bapak Sofian. And Pak Ayu,
You're welcome.
harapan Bapak apa kira-kira? Ini akan menjadi pertanyaan terakhir ya. Habis ini kita foto sesi dulu. Iya, harapan Bapak untuk industri pariwisata di tengah pandemi.
Baik, untuk industri pariwisata kita harapkan terus bertumbuh, selalu mengedepankan konten-konten yang kreatif, harus memodifikasi sesuai dengan situasi saat ini, tidak harus menghilangkan yang lama, tetapi bagaimana meng-create sesuatu yang ada ini lebih nampak milenial. Nah, ini yang harus kita lakukan bersama. Intinya go digital. Nah, ini sedikit-sedikit dilakukan oleh pemerintah Kota Kediri.
Iya. Oke, terima kasih Bapak. So I think that's all for our agenda today. But before, please don't leave. I will give you some information. First is that the team will send you a survey. So please, for all the participants, you need to link or you need to fulfill the survey. And then right after you are done fulfilling the survey, we will send you a link of the certificate. Yeah, okay. So again, I would like to say thank you for all the participants, and we need a photo session right now. Get ready for the session. Okay. For all the participants, yeah. Whenever I say ready, 1, 2, 3, go, and there will be click. Okay. Videonya apa? Oh yeah, everybody please turn on your video. Yeah, turn on your video. So ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, okay, once again. Satu kali lagi ya, Buri ya. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we go on the next slide, the next page, the next participants. Okay, hang on. Bu Ari, Pak Ali Anwar, Bapak Fatur Rashid. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next, we go on the next still next participant. We have many participants. Okay, you need to turn the video on, by the way. You ready, the host? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, next slide, next participant. Ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. I hope that everyone is following, not only me. Okay.
I thought there's a new normal in Indonesia doing this.
What was that? Oh yeah, we cannot do this. Everyone, please. This is the Korean style, right? Is this a Korean style? I don't even know this one. I'm not that type of person. But then it's okay. Rebecca, are you following? Okay. Let me fix my finger. Buria, are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. That's a very good idea, Mr. Sofian. You do know us very well. So this is the closing. On behalf of EIN Kediri, we would like to say thank you very much, especially for all the speakers. You are very helpful, and we just cannot mention how we should make it happen. But then we do appreciate that you are being very available to give us for information. So again, thank you. And I would like to also say thank you to the Dean of the Faculty of Tarbiyah, the Vice, Bapak Fatur Rashid, and Pak Ali Anwar, and the Dean of the English Department, Ibu Ari, and all the teachers, and of course, all the presenters and all the participants. Thank you. We still have the second series that will be Wednesday next week, so I hope you guys stay tuned. Yes, this is the end of the session. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, yeah. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.